In this video, we're going to talk about Palm Beach, the season. Here we are in mid-October, and this is when the Palm Beach, Florida season begins. If you're looking to find out more about Palm Beach, Florida, or if you're thinking about relocating to this part of the world, this is the channel for you. My family and I relocated to Palm Beach, Florida about 15 years ago, and we haven't looked back. And it truly is an honor here today to do exactly the same thing for everybody considering moving to this beautiful part of the world. Hi everyone, this is Ray Fernandez with Living in Palm Beach, Florida. If this is the first time you're here, please consider hitting that subscribe button over in the corner. While you're at it, ring that bell. What that'll do is notify you each time I put out a new video. I put out videos every single week. We talk about all things going on around Palm Beach, all things Palm Beach real estate. So if you're thinking about relocating to Palm Beach, Florida, well, there's a couple of ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our phone number and also an email. That's a great way for you to reach out. Or also in the description and pinned to the top in the comments is a link. Click on that link. That's a great way for us to schedule some time, either through a phone call, through the Zoom. In any case, we have your back when it comes to Palm Beach, Florida. Today, I am on the island of Palm Beach. It's actually east of the city, of the largest city in Palm Beach County, West Palm Beach. And this is what they call the island here in Palm Beach County. And as you can see, the ocean here is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the best oceans on the East Coast, one of the best beaches on the East Coast of the United States. Now, the island of Palm Beach is very, very seasonal. During the full-time residents that live all year long is only really truly about 9,000 people. But come the season, what we're talking about here today, the population swells. It goes from 9,000 upwards of 25,000 people during the season. Now, you might ask, what is the season? The season is around mid-October. A lot of people start coming around Columbus Day, which is a holiday that had just passed. Some people wait until November and Thanksgiving and so forth, but safe to say November through, let's call it the end of April, is the season here in Palm Beach. Now, not all of Palm Beach County is like this place here on Palm Beach Island. Palm Beach Island is one of the richest places in the entire world. Going way back in 2017, they had estimated there were about 30 billionaires that lived on this island, and they were saying at the time it was the 27th wealthiest place in the United States. Now, that number is hard to quantify because so many people here are seasonal and not everyone lives here full time. There's also records in terms of the homes, because the homes here can go upwards of $50 million. So by some statistics, Palm Beach Island is the 4th wealthiest zip code in the entire country of the United States. Now, one of the reasons why this area, Palm Beach County in general, is so popular is, as you can imagine, the weather. So you guys are probably turning fairly cold up north, the people who live up north. We're still in mid-October. Our weather starts to change, but today we are still high around low to mid-80s. So that will change, but humidity has already changed. The humidity is significantly lower than it was here in the summer. And the reason why people come here for the season is in January, which is the coldest month for most places around the country, our high averages, believe it or not, 75 degrees. Our low averages 56 degrees, and that's a typical January day. We'll wake up, it'll be in the mid-50s. It'll be a little bit cool for people who live here all year long in Florida. We consider that a little bit cool. We might even throw on a jacket, and then it'll warm up till about the mid-70s here, and that is our coldest month here in January in Palm Beach, Florida. Now, some people might say, well, that's all well and good, but I bet you it's so hot there in the summertime. Truth is, no. It's just as hot here as it is in some parts of the Northeast and even the Midwest. In fact, it's cooler here. So I know a lot of people that'll look at the midsummer, and it'll be hotter in places like New York, Connecticut, Ohio, the Midwest, even like the Northwest, where you guys are in the mid-90s and higher. We don't get that, believe it or not. Our average high in the month of both July and August is 91 degrees. We rarely get into and or above the mid 90s. When we get in the mid-afternoon, the sea breezes kick in and the thunderstorms come in. We never get that cold. The difference though is we have a longer summer. So when things start turning warm, and let's say we'll be from June, July, August, September, we'll be through October. So our summer months will be something like April through October, where you guys might only have 3 months. Our summer is a bit longer here in Palm Beach, Florida. So really in Florida, in Palm Beach, Florida, we really only have 2 seasons. You have 4 seasons up north, in most places up north. We have 2. And our season is beginning right now. Here we are in mid-October. Humidity's starting to go. I was saying we're starting to cool down. We have the nicest weather for the holidays, such as Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. So what'll happen is hurricane season's getting towards an end, thank God, and the weather's starting to cool down. And what we have is 2 seasons when it comes to rainfall. In fact, this is called, we're starting into the dry season. It pretty much stops raining now. It will not rain literally almost at all from now, call it the mid to end of October, till about the end of April, sometimes into the end of May. But when it does rain, it rains a lot here. So our rainy season starts around the end of May, goes through September. We'll get thunderstorms every afternoon. But that's the thing, it's not like it's a total washout. We get 63 inches of rain, which compared to the rest of the country gets 38 inches of rain. So we get an above average of rainfall, but it happens pretty much in the afternoon, and we welcome it because as the heat kicks in, it cools things down. We also get a lot of sun. So they call Florida the sunshine state for a reason. We get an average each year of about 238 days of sunshine, and that compares to about 208 around the rest of the country. So the question is, how much snow do we get? Answer, none. It has not snowed here literally in decades. In fact, if you look at the amount of days below freezing on average in Palm Beach, we average about 0.4 days, so less than half a day below freezing, below 32 degrees Fahrenheit each year here in South Florida. So I was here on Palm Beach Island about 2 weeks ago, just before October, the mid-October, before Columbus Day. And these, hard to see, but in the distance there are condos down there. And almost all their hurricane shutters were still up. So here, because this is a very seasonal place here on the island here of Palm Beach, they allow you to keep your hurricane shutters up. So in other areas that are more year-round, towns such as Royal Palm Beach or Wellington or even suburban West Palm Beach, they have ordinances. A lot of the communities of the homeowners associations and even the villages, this sort, they don't want the shutters up. Here, because it's so seasonal, they actually do allow it. So what'll happen is people will come back, like we're starting to see, and they'll take their shutters down. So they'll leave whenever they leave. Let's call it May 1st or middle May, when they go back north. They will shutter up, leave the hurricane shutters up all year throughout the season, and once they come back around this time in October, they take them down. Yes, hurricanes are a thing that we contend with here in South Florida and here in Palm Beach, but we've sort of gotten used to it. The houses here, the homes here are built to a very, very strong code. That the hurricane shutters also help. The more so the new construction homes today actually are built with what they call impact windows. So the way they test these things is they literally take a 2x4 piece of wood and they shoot it at like 150 miles an hour into the glass, and if it can withstand, it's considered viable for as an impact window. So a lot of homes today, the new construction homes are built with these impact windows. Also, the older homes, even 10, 15 years ago, they're still built to a very, very strong code. Not like you have up in the north, like when Hurricane Sandy hit New York, that kind of storm, they cannot handle as well as they do here in Florida, because we have hurricane shutters, they have accordions, they have panels. If you have any questions about what it takes to prepare for a hurricane, please reach out to me. I'd love to help. My email, once again, is down below. I'll be happy to tell you what to expect during the hurricane season here in Palm Beach, Florida. As I mentioned in many videos in here, we have some of the nicest beaches on the East Coast here in South Florida. This is Palm Beach. If you go south of here in our county, my favorite beach to the south in Palm Beach is in a town called Delray Beach. They call it the Village by the Sea. It's one of the only places in the whole state where they have a downtown that's right off the beach. So we're sort of mid-county here. Palm Beach is the middle of Palm Beach County. A little bit south of here is a beach called Lake Worth Beach, also very popular. If you go north, those are some of the best beaches, I think, in the county. We have two beaches in particular I think are worth checking out. That's Juno Beach and Jupiter Beach. So I don't know how well you can see it from there, but there are people that are come out. This is especially prevalent in the season as we're in now, beginning of the season. People come out and watch this gorgeous sunrise every morning. Now the beauty of South Florida and Palm Beach is that even in the rainy season, our mornings are almost always crystal clear blue. And when they're not, you'll see lots of times storms. You'll see storms out that way, and it can be completely blue back this way. It's crazy. And they say here, if you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes because it's going to change. And it's very true when it comes to the weather here in Palm Beach, Florida. Here's one of the condos we have off the beach here in Palm Beach, the island Palm Beach. There were, 2 weeks ago I was here, a lot of that condo was all shuttered up. So people are now returning back to Palm Beach for the season. So what makes this place so special during the season? Well, there's a lot to do. When people are, having lived in New York for so many decades, I know what happens in the wintertime. People sort of hibernate, and I know you Northerners recognize that. So, but here it's so nice. During the wintertime, we're still doing like outdoor stuff. We're playing softball. I'm still playing softball now, and we had a season just that ended about a month ago, and we just started a new season a couple of weeks ago that'll go to about Thanksgiving. And so we'll be playing softball literally throughout like January. When you guys have snow, like I mentioned, we don't have snow. We're actually able to do stuff like that. And also water sports. Best water sports in the world, literally. Also, Florida is the fishing capital of the world, so if you like to fish, no better place than Palm Beach, Florida. So you'll see lots of times people going to the helicopter going by. You'll see lots of times people will take their kayaks to places like this. And they'll also go to some of the canals. They'll go kayaking. Obviously, there's surfers. I find the best surfing in Palm Beach. You will see, I've seen a couple of surfers here this morning. The best surfing is in Juno Beach, the northern part of the county. In terms of people, in terms of beaches and places to fish off the pier, obviously you can fish here. And in fact, there's a gentleman down there that is fishing. But the best place I find to fish is they have a very short pier on Jupiter Beach, but that's a great place to fish. Because in Jupiter, they have the Jupiter Inlet. It's one of the main inlets in from the west that goes into the ocean. In fact, it's one of the most treacherous waters. If you're a boater, there's a sign there that says you need to have experience with this channel in order to go through it. It's one of the most dangerous, but also in that area, it produces some of the best fishing in the whole area. Now, I came here before sunrise. This time of year, sunrise is about 7:20 in the morning. The parking here on Palm Beach Island they have meters normally, but at this time of morning, it's free. So you can park, and that's why you'll see people come out to watch the sunrise rather. And so you can just park along Ocean Boulevard, one of the most exquisite roads and most expensive roads in the country. Park along Ocean Boulevard and just come out, watch the sunrise. If you're back to your car by 8 o'clock, no sweat. So people come here lots of times. They might not always come for the whole season, but they will come for the holidays, sometimes maybe a month at a time. So there's no better place than to spend Thanksgiving and Christmas here. There's lots of, you guys have the tree lighting up in Rockefeller Center in New York as an example. But we have a couple of big trees here. On the island, one of the most famous ones is on Worth Ave. A tree lighting ceremony there, and it's similar to the whole tree lighting ceremony you have in Rockefeller Center. Maybe not as big, it's not a city of millions of people, but it's actually very nice. Now for those, I'm approaching it a little bit, and I'll see if I can show you the clock tower. But Worth Avenue, where we put the tree, is like the most famous street in or avenue in Palm Beach. It's the most expensive too. All the high-end retailers are there. It's like sort of like, I've said this before, it's sort of like the Fifth Avenue of New York is the Worth Avenue of Palm Beach, and sort of like the same thing in Rodeo Drive in Los Angeles. The other famous tree, or not really a tree, it's a sand tree, or really a sand castle, is Sandy. In downtown West Palm Beach, it's one of the most festive places for Christmas. What I'd like to do is, and I'm going to do a video when December comes to show all you guys, but in downtown West Palm Beach, which is the center of which is a Clematis Street, they have at the bottom near the Intercoastal, they have a place called Centennial Park or Centennial Square. They have Centennial Fountain there. That's all lit up. And they have Sandy the Sand Tree, and it's a big sand castle. It says welcome to, or happy holidays from all of us here in West Palm Beach. And Sandy sings Christmas carols. And she has a little bit of a personality. Obviously, it's all a little AI type of stuff. And she's a bit of a robot, but it's very festive. She's all lit up. And if you go to Rosemary Square, actually, they have a thing called, in the middle of the square all year round, called the Wishing Tree. But they make that, they light that up, and they play music, and the lights on that tree go to the music. Also in December in Rosemary Square, starting around 7 o'clock, I think this year I read where they're going to do it on the half hour instead, but once an hour what they'll do is they'll make it snow. They'll have artificial snow, and it'll be snowing in downtown West Palm Beach during the month of December. Palm Beach is a very festive place during the holiday season. Down this way is one of the most famous hotels. It's called the Breakers. It's what you'll find is celebrities from all over the country. They'll come here and they'll stay there. So it's one of those places where people get married there as well. It's very, very high end. I've gone there for meals. I've never stayed there, but I checked the room rates out just the other day, and even now, even though it's not the height of season, even now you're looking at about $1,000 a night for a room there at the Breakers. But it's one of the most famous hotels. It's one of the most exquisite hotels here on Palm Beach Island. Another thing they have here during the season here is they have farmers markets, or they call them fresh markets as well. What that is the most famous is right down the street here in West Palm Beach, the biggest. A lot of towns such as the village of Wellington, Royal Palm Beach, Delray Beach, and the biggest in the area is the market in downtown West Palm. It's in that place called Centennial Square. So they'll have, last year at the end of the season, they had 95 vendors there. And what they have there is they have all kinds of stands. If you're into like cooking and things like that, it's a great place to get your materials. You can get things such as spices, vegetables, fruits, pastas, all kinds of food stuff. Anyways, like I said, they had 95 vendors last year, and they have things to do as well, a little basketball throw and things like that. So they do that all through the county, and it starts now. It's actually, the one in West Palm started this month in October and goes through, this year it's going through the end of May. The other thing they have here in the season here in Palm Beach, in the village of Wellington. Wellington is about 10 miles south, a little bit south, but mainly west, considered part of the Western communities. They have Polo. In fact, Wellington is the winter equestrian capital of the world. They have major polo, starts at the beginning of January and goes through month of April. On Sundays during that season, they have their big match, and people will come out, and seen like the movie Pretty Woman, where they're stomping the divots. That's sort of what a polo match looks like. So what happens is the equestrians from all around the world, whether it's from Argentina, Europe, all over the world, they will come on Wellington. And just like in Palm Beach where the population swells, it also does the same in Wellington. In fact, if the people who like to rent, and there aren't that many seasonal rentals, they literally will rent their place would be about 3 to 4 times during that season than what they'll get during the summer months here in Palm Beach. Now Wellington, they have matches throughout the entire week, which a lot of people don't realize, but the big matches, they happen on Sundays. Because Polo is so big in Wellington, it actually is the home of the Polo Hall of Fame. And whenever they give those cups out, like in hockey, you have the Stanley Cup. Well, they have a similar type of an award for Polo. It's kept right here in Wellington, Florida. It's in part of the Polo Hall of Fame and the Polo Museum. The other thing that's great about the season here in Palm Beach, and this will happen in the month of March. The month of March, in my opinion, is the nicest weather we have literally all year round. Winter's over, starting to cool down. The humidity is not quite with us, but we have baseball spring training. And people from around the country actually come here. Big baseball fans, they'll come here for the month of March, and they'll go from site to site. So Palm Beach is now like one of the headquarters or the center of a lot of the teams here. So as an example, in Palm Beach County, in the northern part of the county, in the town of Jupiter, Florida, they have a place called Roger Dean Stadium, and 2 spring training teams train there. Miami Marlins come up from Miami. It's one of the only teams that goes north for spring training. They'll train there, and they'll train there along with the St. Louis Cardinals. During the off season, like once the spring training's over, they'll play games in a lot of these stadiums. Like as an example, the St. Louis Cardinals who train here in March, they have a team called the Palm Beach Cardinals, and that's one of their AA, single A, triple A. It's one of their affiliates for the minor leagues. Also in the city of West Palm Beach, a relatively new phenomenon. We have a new ballpark they built about a few years ago called the Ballpark of the Palm Beaches, and 2 teams train there. And they've been getting a good attendance because one of the teams is the Houston Astros. And recent years, Houston Astros have been a really good team. So they get good attendance. And the other team that trains there is the Washington Nationals. You go a little bit more north of Palm Beach in St. Lucie, a town of the city of Port St. Lucie. That's where the New York Mets train. They've been there for probably over 20 years now. And I don't know, I love going to spring training games, maybe even more so than going to the regular games, because even though the games don't count, it's such a laid-back atmosphere, and it's a great way to join baseball. And it's one of the great things to do here in the season in Palm Beach, Florida. So if you're ever thinking about checking out Palm Beach, Florida, this is the time of year to see it. It's absolutely beautiful, and people from all around the country come here to this beautiful part of the world. Do me a favor and hit that like button. What that'll do is that'll help to get more people here to view this video and this channel. It'll help people learn more about Palm Beach, Florida, and help relocate to one of the nicest, most beautiful places in the entire world. So we have had more and more people move here to Palm Beach, Florida. As the economy has changed and more people have gone to remote jobs, and they can choose where to live around the world, around the country. One of the places very much at the top of their list is here in Palm Beach, Florida. So if you have any questions of what it takes to relocate to Palm Beach, Florida, down below is a great way to get in touch with us, either through email or through a phone call. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating to here in Palm Beach, Florida.